This morning I woke up early, walked outside, and as I normally do, I walked over to look into the water of the canal that runs nearby. Normally, this is very calm, the water running smoothly. Sometimes it's even very still. So as I stood there and I observed, I started to see a lot of movement. A lot of movement. So I was wondering, what is all of that? Sometimes we get manatees in the water, and those are big, so they're easily seen and spotted. All of this movement, some of it was going in circles, some of it was going in a straight line, and I watched and observed, and then I saw a fish jump in the air, which is not an unusual sight. But as I saw more and more jump into the air, I started to notice that that's what all the movement was about. That's what was happening. All these fish were swimming down the canal for as far as I could see in both directions. Now, this particular canal runs around to the back of where I live, so I decided, okay, let me just see if it's the same back there. So I walked to the back, and sure enough, for as far as I could see, there were this line of fish, and some were jumping, some were just swimming along, and they were swimming very close to the surface. Now I know that these are mullet because I'm a little familiar with the fish as in the past I've done some fishing, and I know that mullet usually are the bait fish. Some people eat them, but they're used a lot for bait. So with my curious mind, I came in to see on the internet what was going on, and I Googled mullets, and sure enough, found out some new information that I didn't know about this particular fish. And that information is that they are migrating. They are moving to spawn in the water, and they move in these huge schools and swim together where they're going. And as I watched some of the information, some of the videos on them on YouTube and the different places, it showed like these huge, huge piles of fish, just all their schools of fish, sorry, all gathered together and swimming all in one direction together. And then, as I was watching one video, it was a drone that had captured what was going on with this huge school of mullet, and right in the middle of them were sharks, and they were just having a field day. They were eating to their heart's content because it was just like swimming in a bowl of gravy for us. You know, it would be everywhere, and why not? So then I thought, well, this is something they do. This is their nature. We can't warn them about the fact that if they all swim together, they're more vulnerable, actually, than if they were by themselves. In that big school of fish, they may have thought that they were safe because there's safety in numbers, right? But as I watched that video and watched the sharks right in the middle of them just having a field day, I thought, wow, you know, is it like that with us sometimes, with humans, that we think we're safe in numbers? We think we're safe in the crowd, not standing out, not swimming on our own and going our own way, being our own individual self. We think we're safe and secure by going along with the crowd or going in the same direction the crowd is going in. But as I thought more about that, we're really not safe and secure. we might have a sense of that. We might think, okay, everybody else thinks the way I do, so I must be right. So we get a sense of being right. And that can be a cop-out if we want to really look at ourselves and look at, how do I think, this person that's walking on this earth right now? What are my thoughts? What are my values? What can I contribute in the world on my own? What can I come up with? What can I invent? What can I create? What can I do that will make a difference? So when we go along with the crowd, when we're just floating along with everyone else, are we really taking the time to do our inner work? Or is it just, well, John says so, so it must be true. I'm going to believe him. I trust him. He wouldn't lie to me. So going along with the crowd sometimes is detrimental to really doing our inner work and really seeing what's out there for us, for each person individually. So I'm making a commitment to no longer go along with the crowd. I'm making a commitment to myself to stand up for me, to really focus on what am I all about? What do I want? And how do I want it? How do I see it happening? How do I want it done? There's a quote that says, "Be the change you want to see in the world." And I think that's a wonderful quote. But I think we also need to apply that to ourselves. I need to apply that to myself. Be the change I want to see in my world. And my world is me. Yes, there are other people on this planet. There's other people I have to interact with. But if I want to see a change in me, I have to be that change. I have to step up to the plate. I have to be the one that says yes or no, whichever way I want to do it. Not because the crowd is all yelling yes or the crowd's all yelling no. It's time for us to take our power back. It's time for us to realize what has been happening and that we're not sheep just following along, following one person after another. It's time for us to be leaders. And it's definitely time for me to be a leader. It's time for me to look at my value and my integrity. And when I give my word, to stand by that word, to mean it 1,000%, to apply it in my life 1,000%. And when I say that I will do something, to actually do it and not let time slip by, not let the days go by and, oh yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Someday never comes. Never. When we get to tomorrow, that will be today. And today will be yesterday. We're losing out on so many chances. We're losing out on living life. I'm losing out on living life. The more I look at things that are time wasters, the more I look at, even in my own life, what am I doing that's not of value? I can see so much fat that can be trimmed away. And the more I shed those things that are a barrier, those things that are stopping me from being the very best I can be, from really getting out there and making a difference, that's what's being hindered when we do time-wasting activities. So for me, I'm making a commitment. I'm making it to myself. I'm making it to my world. And I will no longer be a follower. I will be a leader. What's your commitment?